Imagine walking for 27 years. Not for a race, not for a record, but as a way of life. One man, one rule: keep walking. This is the story of a journey that defies everything we think we know about endurance and purpose. What could possibly drive someone to leave everything behind and walk across the world for nearly 3 decades? It all started with a single devastating event. A profound loss that shattered his world and left him searching for an answer, for a reason to keep going. In that moment of absolute despair, he made a vow. He would walk until he found a new meaning for his life. He wasn't running away from something. He was walking towards everything. He set his own rules for this epic pilgrimage. Rule 1: no vehicles. His feet were his only transport. Rule 2: carry minimal money, relying on his own resourcefulness and the kindness of others. Rule 3: sleep outdoors whenever possible, under the vast, open sky. And Rule 4: document his path, creating a tangible record of his unbelievable trek. His route wasn't random. It was a deliberate path from his small hometown, stretching across continents, aiming for symbolic destinations, the roaring oceans, the silent deserts, and ancient holy sites. He wasn't just covering distance. He was tracing a map of the human spirit. His daily routine was dictated by the sun. He'd start walking at sunrise, with a target of how many kilometers he needed to cover. His day revolved around the most basic human need: water. He planned his route around resupply points like wells and streams. When night fell, his strategy was simple: find a safe place to lay his head, whether it was a hidden grove of trees or a humble shelter offered by a stranger. Food was a constant challenge. He became an expert at foraging for edible plants, surviving on cheap staples like rice and bread, and gratefully accepting meals from kind strangers who were moved by his story. He learned to purify water from any source, using simple but effective hacks that kept him alive. The gear he carried was his lifeline. It wasn't about fancy gadgets, it was about durability. A pair of rugged boots replaced countless times, layered clothing to adapt to any climate, a simple weatherproof tarp that served as his roof, a sturdy walking stick that was both a tool and a companion. Over 27 years, his gear evolved. He learned what truly mattered, what would withstand the relentless test of the road, and what was just dead weight. He repaired his own clothes, patched his own tarp, and understood his equipment intimately. He walked through every season and every type of terrain imaginable. He faced the blistering heat of deserts, where heatstroke was a constant, shimmering threat on the horizon. He endured brutal winters, learning to fight off frostbite when temperatures plummeted. He climbed towering mountains, his lungs burning with the thin air, and crossed vast, monotonous flatlands that tested his mental fortitude. He learned to read rivers, figuring out the safest places to cross currents that could easily sweep him away. The physical toll was immense. Blisters were a daily reality, and a small cut could quickly turn into a dangerous infection miles from any doctor. He had to become his own physician, learning to treat his ailments with basic supplies and knowledge passed down from people he met. He battled fevers, aches, and injuries that would send most of us straight to a hospital. But for him, recovery was just another part of the journey. Along the way, the world opened up to him through the people he met. He encountered incredible kindness from strangers who offered him food, shelter, and a moment of connection, restoring his faith in humanity time and time again. But the road had its dangers too. He faced down thieves, navigated tense encounters with border police, and struggled to communicate across dozens of language barriers. A smile, a gesture, the universal language of a weary traveler, these became his most important communication tools. Crossing borders was a bureaucratic odyssey. He dealt with visas, checkpoints, and unexpected detours that added weeks or months to his journey. He spent nights explaining his purpose to skeptical officials, sometimes ending up in a police station, other times being waved through with a mix of disbelief and respect. He slept under the stars more often than not, a silent witness to the world's endless beauty and indifference. He had countless brushes with death. He was stalked by wild animals, caught in ferocious storms that threatened to tear his simple shelter apart, and pushed to the absolute brink by dehydration. There were times he was hopelessly lost, with no landmarks and a dwindling water supply. So what kept him alive? A stubborn refusal to give up, an unshakable belief in his mission, and perhaps a little bit of luck. But the greatest battle was fought within his own mind. Imagine the crushing loneliness of walking day after day, year after year, with only your own thoughts for company. He developed mental rituals to stay sane, counting his steps, reciting prayers, and meticulously keeping journals. This incredible discipline wasn't just for his body. It was to keep his mind from fracturing under the immense pressure of solitude and hardship. His faith, whatever form it took, became his anchor in a sea of uncertainty. He marked his progress with milestones that seem almost superhuman to us. The first 1,000 kilometers, a monumental achievement in itself. The first time he laid eyes on an ocean, having crossed an entire landmass to reach it. Surviving his first brutal winter alone. Celebrating multi-year anniversaries on the road, with the horizon as his only witness. He wasn't just passing time, he was conquering it, one step at a time. And how do we know this incredible story is true? He kept proof. Photographs that show his transformation over the years, notebooks stamped at border crossings and police stations, and a trail of witnesses scattered across the globe who remember the man who just kept walking. Separating the verified facts from the myths that grew around his journey is part of his legend, but the core of his story remains undisputed. This journey came at a cost. He missed decades of family life, births, deaths, and moments he could never get back. His body bore the permanent scars of his 27-year trek. But what he gained was immeasurable, a profound sense of purpose. When he finally returned home, it was a world he barely recognized. The culture shock of stopping, of being still, was almost as challenging as the walk itself. What does home even feel like after you've made the entire world your home? So what did he learn from it all? The power of simplicity, the deep gratitude for a cup of water, a piece of bread, a kind word. And he discovered that the map of human kindness stretches across all borders and languages. His walk has inspired countless others, launching charity fundraisers, new pilgrimages, and inspiring people to take on their own personal challenges, big and small. His legacy is a testament to the power of a single step, taken over and over again. In the end, he wasn't escaping life, he was walking right into the heart of it. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories about the human spirit. See you in the next one.